Hi, Jeff Higley with Hotel News Now. I'm here at the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference in Atlanta. I'm with Fred Cerrone, the President and CEO of Hotel Equities. Fred, thanks for joining us today.
Sure, absolutely. My pleasure.
So growth has been the name of the game for Hotel Equities. You added 13 properties, I think, in the fourth quarter of last year. You're up to 55 hotels. Tell us a little bit about your portfolio. What is it that you specialize in?
Well, our sweet spot is select service. However, we do full service as well, and we're actually we want to get into the full service arena. We have a couple of full service hotels, and we have the expertise in-house now to do that. I grew up in the full service sector, so started with Sheraton years ago, and ran full service box most of my career, and a lot of my team has that experience as well. So we do want to expand our horizon in that regard.
So tell us a little bit about the difference between a select service and a full service management-wise, what it takes. Clearly there's more employees and all that, but what's the biggest difference? What's the biggest learning curve for you to jump into that space on a regular basis?
Well, I think the two main things that you have to be aware of is on the sales side. Obviously, it's more sales intensive, and your booking patterns are obviously longer than they are in select service. Then the other key piece is F&B. You have to make sure that you have food and beverage depth in your organization, and we do have that now. And so we feel that we're positioned, excuse me, well now to grow into that sector. But those are the two main things: sales depth and food and beverage experience.
And the type of property you're looking for in terms of the full service aspect of it is what?
Something, and we're not looking to do convention hotels like the Marquee here that we happen to be at today, but something in the 200 to 400 room range really kind of fits our sweet spot. We like boutique hotels, and we think we have one boutique hotel in our portfolio, and so we like that sector. There's a couple of brands that are emerging, obviously, that you're aware of that specialize in that boutique sector, and so we think we're primed perfectly to take advantage of that as well.
What's your take on full service hotels in suburban properties, or pardon me, in suburban locations? Now, some people say, there's a lot of extra space that you can't use efficiently anymore. What's your take on that? Are those something that you're interested in? What do you do with that space in those, if you are?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I think that's one of the main concerns in our industry. There is concern for that smaller box full service hotel that at one time kind of controlled the market, and typically since those were built, say 20 years ago or so, there's been the emergence of select service properties that have crept in to their space and have pretty much taken away a lot of the room nights. So I'd say if I looked at the landscape of types of properties, I'd say that suburban full service box is a concern, and there's reason to be concerned, again, because of the infiltration in their space of the high-end select service properties. And so if somebody's coming to a suburban area and they don't need all that extra banquet space, or they don't need all that space in general, they don't need room service, etc., chances are they're going to pick a newer box, and chances are that's going to be a select service property.
Right, right. So you mentioned you do all three. You develop, you buy, you manage. Right now, what's the ideal situation for you? Would you prefer to develop a hotel from the ground up, or acquire an existing one?
Well, we're looking at both. We just acquired a property, and we're looking to acquire several others. And we have 3 properties under development as we speak. Actually 5 properties, 3 that we're doing ourselves. And so it's, again, trying to take advantage of the cycle. There are still some buying opportunities. I think that window is closing as cap rates start to come down. But I think we're quickly approaching that access where the acquisition costs are going to exceed the actual development costs. Mm-hmm. So that happens I look at the cycle as a clock, and that typically happens about 9 o'clock, and we're approaching that, in my opinion, if 12 o'clock was the peak of the cycle.
So when you go out to acquire, what type of scenario are you looking for? Is there a range of price that you look for in terms of the assets that are out there?
Well, not so much. We're not so much price conscious as we are. We do have some criteria. They have to be located in great markets that we consider great markets. The hotels have to have great bones to them. great structure. We need to have the availability. If it doesn't already have what we call a great flag on it, a top tier flag, and one's not available, we would pass in that situation. So we need to have great locations, great ingress, great egress, great flag availability. We like high barriers to entry markets. We like multiple demand generator markets, and then taking advantage of the current interest rates. That to me is a winning formula. So it doesn't so matter the price point as it does fitting into all that criteria, and obviously if we can get a fair return for myself and for our investors.